One of the most important aspects of academic writing is writing clearly and concisely. To do this, there are several rules that you can use to eliminate excess. The first thing to do is to check for wordiness in your writing. What is wordiness? Wordiness is using more words than are necessary to get your point across. More importantly, these excess words slow your reader down and reduce the clarity of your writing. There are several ways that you can identify wordiness in your writing. The first is finding redundant phrases. These include using the same words multiple times or over-explaining a point using the same support. With run-on sentences, your reader can lose the point within the wording and be unsure of the author's purpose. Take a look at the sentence on this slide. It includes redundant phrasing. Pause the video and see if you can identify redundant phrases contributing to wordiness. There are two examples of redundant phrases in this sentence. The first is in the words readily and readiness. The second is in the words distribution and distributing. These redundancies make the sentence tiresome and confusing to the reader. Pause the video and see if you can rewrite the sentence with these redundancies corrected. Look at the difference between the original sentence and the possible rewrite. Immediately, you see that sentence 2 is shorter. It removes the redundant phrasing of readily and distribute. By doing this, it emphasizes the purpose of the sentence, that the managers must be ready in order for resources to be distributed. This is clear writing. Based on what you have learned so far, take a look at the example wordy sentence. Pause the video and see if you can identify what needs to be corrected. There are 3 examples of redundant phrasing in the sentence. The first is in the phrasing thorough and completely. This is redundant because we do not need both words to describe the community. Community is also redundant as it appears at the beginning and the end of the sentence. Finally, any and at all are redundant because we do not need both words to describe happens. Did you pick these out the first time, or were some of them a surprise? Based on what we have picked out, pause the video and rewrite the sentence for better clarity. Look at the wordy sentence and a possible rewrite. Sentence 2 is shorter and has removed the 3 examples of redundant phrasing. By doing this, it has become clear and the reader can see that the point of the sentence is that a needs analysis is necessary to distribute resources. Run-ons and fragments are also 2 mistakes which prevent clarity. These pop up when a sentence is not punctuated correctly. In graduate writing, it is very important to eliminate these because poor punctuation discourages your readers from seeing the point of your writing. What is a run-on? A run-on is 2 or more independent clauses put together with no connecting words or proper punctuation. Remember, an independent clause includes a noun and a verb. In simple sentences, a run-on goes on excessively before reaching its ends. There are 2 common examples of run-ons. The first is a comma splice. This is when a comma is used in place of a period or a semicolon. For example, spreading nutrition information is often difficult. Academics should plan carefully. Both sections on either side of the comma are independent, so different punctuation is necessary. The second example is a direct run-on. For example, spreading nutrition information is often difficult. Academics should plan carefully. Can you hear the rush in the middle of the sentence? There is no punctuation to indicate a second independent clause. Sometimes, this second example can be hard to identify. It helps to read your writing aloud to see where natural pauses are needed. The second part of run-ons are fragments. What is a fragment? A fragment does not have an independent clause. Remember, an independent clause includes a noun and a verb. In other words, it can't stand alone. There are 2 main types of fragments. Look at the first example, during the new nutrition class. This is a prepositional phrase, but it is not a complete sentence. We are left wondering, what about the nutrition class? Look at the second example, had an introductory seminar. This fragment has no subject. We are left wondering who had an introductory seminar. These may seem easy to identify when they are separated, but it can be easy to lose them in larger sections of academic writing. Once again, reading your writing aloud can help to identify and fix these. Now that you've learned about redundant phrases, run-ons, and fragments, take a look at the example paragraph. Let's read it together. Vast and numerous studies have shown that the presence or absence of soft skills will possibly, but definitely, affect the success of family science students in their own individual, personal communities, despite having many and various opportunities to grow. Many family science students do not pursue or take advantage of these education programs in soft skills. From hearing it read aloud, can you immediately find the fragment? The fragment, despite having many and various opportunities to grow, is a fragment because it does not include a subject. This can be corrected by adding a comma and making many lowercase in the following sentence. Read the sentence again. It is now complete because it includes a subject and a verb. Next, look at the paragraph and see if you can identify any redundant phrasing. There are several examples. The first example is vast and numerous. The sentence does not need both words to describe studies. The second example is possibly but definitely. Again, both words are not needed to describe effect. The next examples, individual, personal, and many and various, again use multiple adjectives to describe one subject. This can be fixed by removing either word in these examples. Lastly, pursue or take advantage is a little different because it uses two verbs to describe one subject. This can be fixed by removing either verb, but the author will need to make the choice of which verb is better suited for the sentence. Now, based on the corrected fragment and the identified redundant phrasing, pause the video and take a minute to rewrite the sentence. Compare the wording example to the possible rewrite. The rewrite includes the fixed fragment and it also removed all redundant phrasing. The word count has also changed drastically. The first example was 59 words. The second example is 36. Both passages describe the same scenario, but the rewrite is clear and gives the information to the reader as directly as possible. Now that you have had plenty of practice, pause the video to read the example passage and then rewrite it for clarity by removing fragments and redundancies. Look at the wordy passage in comparison to the rewrite. Does your rewrite look similar? Answers may differ. The important thing is that you are able to identify the fragment and remove the redundant phrasing. By doing this, you can vastly improve the clarity of your writing. Thank you for completing Module 4.